welcome to another episode of the weekly business roundup with me, your host, Wadulo Arnold. We're glad that you have tuned in, and thank you. These are the big stories tonight. Onomo Hotel enters Uganda's hospitality industry. NSSF declares 12.15% interest rate for the year 2021. And on the international scene, Europe grapples with an energy crunch and rising prices. For these and more, stay tuned. It's time for business. Onomo Hotel has opened its first mid-scale hotel in Uganda. Its entry marks a milestone for Onomo's growth in East Africa and brings its footprint to 22 hotels in the continent. Now, the new baby in Uganda's hospitality industry comes at a time of unprecedented challenges brought by the COVID-19 pandemic, as Dennis Sigoa reports.
Uganda continues to attract investors in the hotel sector despite the tough economic times caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The new entrant is Onomo Hotels, located on Akibua Street in the affluent Nakasero Hill suburb.
We create an experience. We're not just a very traditional approach to hotels. We want this to be an urban living environment. When you come to our restaurant, Saba, or whether you're staying in the hotel, you're feeling an experience. And if you are the person that likes to have energy around you when you go to a place, then that is the target market we're looking for.
To the majority of Uganda's population, this multi-million-dollar investment in the bustling city might seem a risky affair, bearing in mind the current economic situation. According to recent research, most mid-range and high-end hotels in Uganda have failed to break even for more than a year due to low customer numbers.
For one to know the health of a hotel, we look at the occupancy rates. So for a hotel to break even in Uganda, it must operate at 40% occupancy. The numbers had started going up, but then we had the other lockdown, the one that we just come through in July, and that really meant that our occupancy levels, I think, fell to about 12% from about 28%. So right now, the occupancy levels are starting to come up, but it's still way below the 40% that is required for a hotel to break even. So we are still operating, for the most part, in losses in the hotel industry.
But to the proprietors of Onomo, this investment, valued at over $30 million is based on research. They believe Uganda's future social and economic outlook is worth taking a calculated risk.
We have a confidence in the industry on the continent, and there's always something that will happen in business. So you're calling it a risk, we're calling it confidence in the long term. For us, opening up now, we could have waited, we could have delayed. We have our team, we need to participate in the economy. And by the support of our stakeholders and the management of Onomo, we are moving forward. Every one of our hotels, we've managed to push through, and we're there. Onomo is still there, and we're very grateful for the ability to be there.
These sentiments are re-echoed by officials from Uganda Investment Authority and the Tourism Board.
As they said, that when other companies that are looking at the short-term gains may want to exit Uganda, Onomo is opening up in Uganda. Why? That the long-term strategist looks at an opportunity when others are looking at the risk. So Onomo is looking at Uganda. Previously, at the time of COVID-19 when it was commencing, Uganda was the #1 tourism destination in Africa.
I think this is a testimony, is a part of the confidence building that slowly by slowly business is coming back, and also to assure the travelers and even Uganda alike that really we are soon coming back to start doing business.
Onomo Hotel Kampala has a total of 34 suites and 114 standard comfortable rooms. It also provides conference facilities and a modern restaurant. Dennis Sigoa for UBC News.
National Social Security Fund has declared the fund interest rate of 12.15% of the year ended June 2021, which represents 1.8 trillion shillings. Now, while declaring this interest rate of this year, Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Matia Kasaija, assured the members of the benefits for the awaiting NSSF bill.
By invoking Section 32 of the NSSF Act, the Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Matia Kasaija, has declared the NSSF interest rate of the year 2021 in the 9th annual members meeting at 12.15%. At this figure, the rate is believed to be the most competitive on the Ugandan market.
For the financial year 2020-2021, 12.15%.
The new rate will be calculated and credited to the balances of outstanding in every member's accounts as of 1st July 2020.
Minister Kasaija commended the fund managers for the performance and implored them to leverage on technology for resilience and sustainability. This means all savers' share is to be credited by the interest rate declared.
The fund will also have the mandate to innovate new benefits for its members. You heard here. It is of utmost importance that members' funds are protected against effects of inflation in the medium and long term.
Fund members are assured of the expeditious process of the NSSF bill, which is still under review. NSSF commits to depend on the amended bill to diversify products.
We continue to seek your guidance, your support and commitment to ensure that we usher in the much-awaited legislative environment.
After all, there is consensus on almost every clause now, and the bill will be beneficial for all parties involved.
Be able to build a fund that caters for our members across their whole life cycle. We'll be able to provide products for our members from their childhood until their old age.
By artificial intelligence, NSSF has enhanced data quality index, where about 85% of its data is now automated. The fund has registered up to 15 trillion shillings from 10 trillion shillings as per the 2020 annual members meeting.
What we've been able to do is to use machine learning and artificial intelligence to figure out this equation for us, and we believe that that is a big deal for us. It has enabled us to improve what we call the data quality index.
The increased returns on the treasury bonds in the fixed income are propelling the fund to re-strategize the ambitions to meet the savers' desire and exponential growth.
Also, what's been happening in the real estate market, where there's been a slump on returns. So certainly having a little bit of sure money, as we call it, in fixed income is a good. One of the things that we continuously request from government is if we can ask for tax waivers on the investment income for the fund so that members can get this as well.
The 12.15% interest rate is higher than the 10.75% declared in the last financial year, which demonstrates the fund's resilience to withstand the shocks occasioned by the stressed economy and uncertain business environment. Abdul Nasir Luwama, UBC News.
Legislators from the Budget Committee of Parliament and the Environment and Natural Resources Committee have been in the oil fields of the Alberta and Graben to ascertain the progress of the oil and gas projects. Now, some of the MPs our crew interacted with expressed optimism and promised to support government to achieve the 2025 first oil target.
The Environment and Natural Resources Committee with the Budget Committee of Parliament are here in the Alberta and Graben on an oversight mission on oil and gas activities.
We visited today the Telenga project, and we've seen the progress of work that is going on. So far, I'm impressed. So far, so good. And what is happening is that with a few laws that will be coming in soon, we've been told that the final agreement will be signed to enable the production of oil by May 2025.
As we look forward to oil commercialization, we hope this will contribute towards our revenue streams towards the growth of our economy, the growth of GDP, and of course the attendant taxes that will come and will help us to fund our own budget systems. So as a Committee of Parliament, we should be happy to consider additional funding into the oil project, given what we have seen yesterday and also today.
Before heading to the Tilenga project in Bulisa district, the members of parliament started their 5-day excursion with a visit of the Uganda Petroleum Institute Kigumba in Kriandongo district.
The curriculum that we are delivering was designed together with our partners at IFP of France. They helped us design the curriculum, looked at the equipment to implement the curriculum. They helped us design the infrastructure that we are seeing now, especially the workshops.
Kigumba is a premier institution set up by government to facilitate the training of locals who will in turn provide labor for oil and gas industry. The next destination was the Stanbic Agribusiness Incubator in Hoima Municipality. The training center seeks to empower farmers to produce quality agricultural products to satisfy the market demands and boost local content.
We are getting farmers here to train them and prepare to produce food, ranging from meat, from what, for the people who are working for the industry itself. For us, our role in the development of this industry is security. So that one is what I can assure you.
We have interested ourselves in understanding the details, the communities, how are they going to benefit, the local content aspects, right through the value chain, the logistics aspects, and the local people. We don't want to have farming here who are imported from outside when we have our local people who can do that.
So last, there are commitments we made in the manifesto in relation to this sector, and we come to follow up and see how these commitments are being implemented.
According to the Petroleum Authority Uganda, the visit of the legislators to key oil and gas installations and projects is vital in expediting the capital-intensive downstream phase of oil and gas activities.
They have come to look at the oil roads. They have come to look at the efforts we are making to empower farmers. Like now here where we are, it is an incubation center managed by Stanbic.
The Albertine Graben is the principal area for petroleum exploitation. So far, 40% of the area has been explored and 15% licensed. Uganda's oil and gas sector has progressed into development in preparation for its first oil in 2025. Saddam Mubale, UBC News in the Albertine Graben.
Ziploc Quality Chemicals Industries has registered improved performance, with revenue growing to 284 billion shillings from 193 billion shillings for the period ended June 2021. Despite this performance, the entity has not registered dividends payouts for their shareholders for another year round. Ziploc reported a 47% growth in revenue, which it attributes to expanded markets into the ECOWAS, having introduced 15 new countries to which they supply HIV and anti-malaria drugs.
We hope to reap from the investments we made in the past financial year, particularly the acquisition of the private market business and the acquired registration of the ECOWAS and Zasbona regions. We also expect to further increase our product portfolio by launching additional products into the market and undertaking more technology transfers to enable us manufacture more products.
However, the company remains confident that its development plan is soon seeing dividends payouts.
We are coming off a very significant year with almost 47% jump in our revenue, which had some portions of COVID revenue and partner sales. We are trying to make sure we can grow this further in the new financial year, and we will focus on building commercial structures in EAC region and prioritize this region for future growth.
Our revenue grew by 47% from 193 billion to 284 billion in financial year 2021. The growth in revenue was mainly in the export segment, where revenue grew by more than fourfold from 25 billion in financial year 2020 to 127 billion in financial year 2021. As mentioned by the outgoing CEO, our products were registered in 31 countries, and the benefit of this acceptance is starting to show in the company's numbers.
Ziploc listed on the Uganda Securities Exchange on September 18, 2018, after an oversubscribed initial public offering that raised 166.5 billion shillings, but has not realized dividends payouts since. Wadulo Arnold, UBC News in Kampala. In our corporate trap, Uganda Revenue Authority is to deploy additional intrusive cargo scanners in key major border points. A consignment of the electronic equipment has been received by the URA Commissioner General. In another development, Ziploc Quality Chemicals Industries is venturing into the manufacturing of anti-cancer and anti-sickle cell blood anemia medicine. Now this follows the signing of a supply agreement with the Ministry of Health.
Uganda Revenue Authority has received a non-intrusive scanning equipment that seeks to help the revenue body in the collection of international taxes. URA has received the first consignment of 39 scanners.
So with a big scanner now, the whole pallet can be scanned. So we are building. We had very few. Now with this is the biggest single procurement of scanners, 39 scanners.
This electronic equipment will help cover the most strategic border points. The first consignment, which includes the big baggage scanners, is being deployed to Entebbe International Airport.
The opening of parrots had many challenges. One of them, it takes time to open these things. Some are fragile imports. During the process of unpacking and counting and opening each box, some things break.
According to the Commissioner General, URA, they are looking forward to making optimal use of the state-of-the-art equipment, which is in line with the Revenue Authority's commitment to serving the country faithfully.
Gota, if you know the border with DRC, Bunagana, all those borders, we are going to cover them with the handheld and the mobile ones.
The scanners are the biggest single consignment URA has procured since it was established. In another development, Ziploc Quality Chemicals Limited has signed an agreement with the Ministry of Health that authorizes Ziploc to start manufacturing of anti-cancer, anti-sickle cell and anti-tuberculosis medicines in Uganda.
As we access these medicines locally, they are easily available, they are affordable, and we do not doubt the quality.
And today, I think it's close to 1 million or slightly more than 1 million. And whoever is sick and really wants to be treated, the government of Uganda is there.
14 years ago, Ziploc Quality Chemicals signed a similar agreement that targeted malaria and HIV/AIDS. The initiative yielded tremendous results in mitigating the negative impact of the two deadly diseases. Currently, cancer and sickle cell blood anemia are becoming a big burden not only to Uganda but the African continent at large.
It is a challenge always to depend on importation, because through that process the cost of medicines is higher. You find that we don't build capacity internally. And I think
pharmaceutical industries are concerned. This is in line with government policy, and for us as private sector players, we are proud that we are going to do this.
Uganda gets over 50,000 cancer cases annually, and more than 50% of the patients die. Dennis Igoa and Abdul Nasir Uwama for UBC News.
On the international scene, households across Europe face much higher winter bills due to the global surge in wholesale power and gas prices. Consumer groups have warned that the most vulnerable in the region could be hit by fuel poverty as a result.
Beneath the town of Reda in Lower Saxony, natural gas is stored deep underground. A subsidiary of Gazprom Germania has filled the gas reservoir to only 2/3 of its capacity. It's normally 90% full in the run-up to winter. Energy consultant Andreas Löschel is concerned about the rise in gas prices demanded by Russia, Germany's largest gas supplier. Russia is a very strategic player in the gas market, which means that economic interests are in the foreground. Shortages naturally drive prices up and are very profitable to Russia. More than half of Germany's natural gas supplies come from Gazprom Germania, a company close to the Kremlin. The company has declined to comment. Gazprom built the Nord Stream 2 pipeline through the Baltic Sea at a cost of €9 billion. It's technically ready for operation, but still lacks the regulatory green light. Critics of the project now see a link between the shortage of natural gas and the sluggish approval process. I can only assume that this isn't a coincidence because Russia has plenty of gas. It could deliver, the pipeline capacities are there. Political pressure is being exerted to ensure that Nord Stream 2 can go into operation as quickly as possible. A number of European permits are still missing, and I believe that President Putin is simply playing politics with gas supplies to Germany and Central Europe. Relief could come from liquid natural gas, which is available worldwide. But the liquefied gas tankers are currently on their way to Asia, where natural gas is scarce and prices are high. The EU is left empty-handed. Heating and cooking will be expensive this winter. Alternatives to natural gas are in high demand. This high gas price, this gas crisis, will certainly also lead to a readjustment of energy policy. I think we will consider how we can become more independent of gas, especially in the area of heating, which affects households but also companies. We will look for alternatives, especially green energy and the expansion of renewables. The high price of natural gas could backfire for Russia's Gazprom in the long run, prompting a boost for further investment in the development and rollout of green energy sources. At least, that's the hope.
The roads have come, they are very good, tarmacked, but no economic activity yet has been realized in the Albertine Graben. You can see when you're coming from Kampala, the the Tonya Kaiso road, even Devolisa, there is no any business. So government has to embrace the issue of commercial farming, the issue of investing small-scale entrepreneurship activities. They have to invest more money in the Bunyoro, in the Albertine Graben areas, where people are going to die because of hunger, where people are going to be chased away by nature because of these oil activities.
In our Sounds of Business, we give you a sneak peek of the Tororo PV solar power plant. At its peak, it produces 10 megawatts, and this is added onto the national power grid. Picture your future. Project yourself 5 years from now. Envision your goal and flow back in time and work towards your dream. The only goals that can be achieved are those that have been envisioned. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Weekly Business Roundup. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold. Catch us on the next episode, same time, same place. From the team, we must say good night.